Hello and welcome to the Remedy Fibers podcast, a podcast about knitting and crochet hosted by me, Jillian. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're a returner, thank you so much for coming back to my channel. Happy Valentine's Day! By the time you watch this episode, we will be celebrating love, chocolate, all the candy, and all the good fun Love is Blind new episode. I can't wait. I already have my cozy pajamas that I got as my Valentine's Day gift. I'm gonna have my own little watch party with my dog Benny, and I can't wait to see Love is Blind. I think it's taking place in North Carolina this year, and I just finished Sweden. I'm here for all of the juicy love corny reality TV. But enough about that. I wanted to check in with you all because I do have some finished objects, and believe it or not, I casted on a new knit project, which I'm excited for. So if you're interested, stay tuned. But if you're new here, I live in Northern California with my husband and dog Benny. I love everything yarn related, and I hope you stay for my yarn journey. So we'll just jump right into it with our finished objects. Last week when I was editing the video, I realized that I missed one finished object that I worked on previously, and so this one was finished about mid-January. One time I was walking my dog Benny and I bumped into one of my co-workers, and she gave him some pets, and she's like, "Oh Benny, you're so cold, your fur is so cold." And I was like, "My baby's cold, I need to make him a sweater." So this is my first ever dog sweater, animal sweater, Benny's first sweater, and Benny's gonna be 5 years old in May, and I can't believe all these years this is my first ever time making him a sweater. So let me show it to you first. He is a little but chunky boy, and what I like is that the pattern is customizable to your dog's size, because I was watching a YouTube tutorial on how to make this, and she was saying some dogs might be small but they might be long, and so Benny is medium size but he's really long. There's parts of him that measure as a small dog size, there's parts of him that measure as a medium dog size. So my baby got, you know, he's disproportionate, but we made it work. So it fits him. He doesn't really wear it because it's not that cold over here. The coldest it got was like for a week, which is why I made this, and it was in the 30s. But now it's gonna be like high 50s and low 60s. So I'll include pictures of him wearing it here. He's so cute. He lets me put it on him. He knows that when I put this on him, it's time for his outside walk, and so he would wear it outside with no issue, not trying to rip it off. But once it comes off, he wants to grab it and run around the couch and hide with it. So maybe he likes it, feels like a blanket to him, but also smells like me, smells like him. So the construction was pretty easy to follow on YouTube. You kind of start, it's a free pattern, but you start with the neck ribbing, and then you increase and you work on this back part first. If I can remember correctly, you work on this back part first, and then eventually you bind off to work up the armholes, and then I sewed the middle of this body part. So when he's wearing it, this is kind of how it looks. I did do a small neck circumference but a medium body, so my stitch got thrown off because I had to increase to match her stitches, and then I think his body is medium but his armholes are still small, so I added some more stitches around the arms to fit my baby's body proportions. But he looks so stinking cute in this, and when it is pretty chilly outside, then I'll put this on him. But I'm really happy with this. I would highly recommend the pattern. I will link the YouTube video that I followed. It was very clear, very easy to follow. I had to rewind for some parts, but then after that it made sense. And I used just regular acrylic yarn with a, I want to say it was an H hook, but instead of me making stuff up, I will include the direct link for the YouTube video, so that if you want to create a crochet sweater for your dog or cat, you can go follow that one, and it was perfect for me. Next up, I have another finished object. This is the Sleepy Baby Lovey, and it is in the crochet bundle by Alanna, and so it is now complete. So when I finished this project, I was really unhappy with it. I think it's because I didn't have embroidery floss for the eyes and nose, and so I just used thick regular black yarn that I had, and it's really cute. Like, after putting it away, not looking at it, and then bringing it up for the podcast, it is super cute. It is a teddy bear head arms, and then this is supposed to be like a little comfort blanket. It's just a rectangle, and this used one ball of yarn. I didn't want to go buy more yarn because technically this was supposed to be much longer, but yeah, I was not happy with this project. It kind of just, I don't know, something about the face features just rubbed me the wrong way. So I put it in the cabinet. I didn't want to look at it, but then yesterday when I was getting ready for the episode, I was thinking, oh, it's not bad. Like, I was being too harsh, too critical of my first time ever making something like this. So hopefully this gift will be much appreciated. I'll be sending it on its way, but it is super cute. I did use pretty small crochet hooks for this pattern. The only downside, if you want to crochet this, there is like a panda, a frog, a pig, a bunny. I was gonna make the bunny, but I ran out of yarn and I had to improvise with these ears. These were the start of the bunny ears, and I had to quickly make it a bear because I did not want to buy another ball of yarn. As you know, I do not like to have a big stash, and what really irks me is having like these little odds and ends. Yes, it can be useful to make like a top for a teddy bear or like a little accessory of something, but I just don't like to have all of these random tiny little balls of yarn. And so my goal was not to buy more, even though the project needed more yarn, but I thought that this was a good size for a little kid. So it became a bear instead of a bunny, but I'm still happy with it. I think also if I was to make this again, I would want different colors because this beige yarn is just not giving me cutesy, you know, it's giving me plain blah. Oh, I was gonna say that the downside about this pattern is that it was quite expensive, and you can't just buy the crochet animals separate. You have to buy the bulk. It comes in a bulk pattern. So in Australian dollars, it's $20 Australian dollars. But in US dollars, it's $13.70. So I thought that was kind of pricey for something so little, but it comes with the frog, the panda, the bear, the lamb. Oh, it doesn't come with a bear. I just made the bear. I just made a bear. A lamb, a bunny, and I'll include a picture of what the bundle includes here because this is what I found this on Pinterest, and this is what really gravitated me to the pattern. I said, isn't that so cute and adorable? And you can see in the picture the blanket portion is supposed to be way longer than what I have, but maybe if I was to buy more yarn, or if I have extra yarn from a different project that's made out of some type of cotton, because this is cotton yarn, then I would make another one of these. It was a little bit tedious. Having these like little amigurumi projects can be a little bit hard on the hands. I know Pam from Pam's Knit and Crochet Corner did recommend some hand techniques and some hand stretches. So I'm hoping that I can incorporate that because I am using such tiny crochet hooks. So yeah, let me know what you think about this. I did assemble the bear without following the patterns because I was like, it's so intuitive, like it's obvious how you would connect the pieces. If you do make this, make sure that you are reading the instructions, because from this angle it's kind of cute, but from this angle it's like the arms are like on its back. So as my first attempt, I'm not gonna be hard on myself, but it is kind of funny. It's supposed to be like regular arms, but they're kind of like flapping backwards. And then I thought maybe I should put the face this way since the arms are that way, but then it looked like the arms were that way. So we're just gonna make it work. This is my Sleepy Baby Lovey by Alanna all day. Next up, I have my Granny Ripple Stitch Little Throw, and I mentioned this last week that I had a ball of Karen Cake Blossom in the Tide Pool colorway, and I bought it for another project. I didn't need 2 balls. I didn't want 2 balls. I wanted to get it out of stash, and so I have made another little throw, another little Afghan blanket, and this one is actually really pretty. This one's my favorite project of the week, because the last one that I made was a star, and it was my first attempt in trying a new type of pattern design. It was a little bit more complicated than I thought. I thought it was gonna be more intuitive, more once you make your little star, you just kind of increase, do your normal double crochets. my star kind of got a little wonky, and even though it does look like a star, my perfectionist in me, it really irks me. So that one is gonna go to a new home. My grandma actually watches these episodes, so hi mama. And she said I can send the blankets her ways for her pups. She has 3 pups and they get cold, so I'll be working on mailing that to her in North Carolina. But this one is so super cute. It was so easy to follow. If you are looking for a easy crochet, no thinking, the only thinking you have to do is cast on your row and then start the pattern, and then there's no thinking. You literally just copy what you did the row before. It's a 1 row repeat. And I just love how the ombre looks with the greens and the blues, so I might keep this one. I might give it away. For now it's kind of just draped over my couch, and I was thinking maybe I should buy 1 more ball of this so it could be extra long, but I literally just said I wanted to get rid of this yarn. So this one worked up pretty fast. I was saying about a week I was able to work on this. I worked on it at the coffee shop. I worked on it while watching the Super Bowl. I just couldn't get enough of this. I had to put it on pause so I can cast out my new project I'm going to show you, but I wanted to work on just this project alone. So for this one I did use a H crochet hook, and the yarn is, I think the yarn is Aran weight. So the yarn is Aran weight. There's 61% cotton and 39% acrylic in here. So it does have a little bit, tiny bit of a halo, but I do think that it adds a touch of beauty to the pattern. So I would definitely recommend this. Definitely make it again. And I think that's all I'll say about that. The only thing that I don't like about this is that when you cast off, you see how cute this edging is. For some reason, for the cast on one, it's kind of round. It's kind of like rolling on itself. So I don't know why it's not as pristine as the other side, but we're just not gonna look there. So over the weekend I was able to have such a great time. I visited my favorite coffee shop, and I've been obsessing over the lavender haze matcha. It's matcha with lavender syrup. So good. I'm having it like every Saturday and Sunday, and so I'll just bring my project that I'm working on, have my little tea, crochet, listen to some podcasts. But this weekend I wandered into my local craft shop. It's not a yarn shop. They focus more on like painting supplies, coloring books, polymer clay, like little arts and crafts store. But they do have a very tiny yarn selection, and I noticed over the last couple of months it's been increasing in size, so maybe there is more of a demand. But a lot of the yarn that they carry is Lion Brand yarn or acrylics. So I was just in the mood to cast on something. I went to visit Michael's, but nothing was really like grabbing my attention. So I found this beautiful Lion Brand yarn. This is the Lion Brand Yarn Co. collection in the chain net. I guess the name of the yarn is called chain net. It's 70% alpaca, 18% wool, and 12% polyamide. And I thought it was so cute. It looked so airy and pretty, and I never used this type of yarn in a sweater garment before. So that's a hint. I am finally making a sweater. Knitting has kind of taken the back seat because crochet has taken over my life. Every project minus the headband from last week was crochet, and so far 3 out of the 4 projects today, all my finished objects are crochet. This is my first knit project. So the unfortunate thing is that since it is a arts and crafts store, they only have 3 balls of this, and I was looking on Ravelry to see what patterns recommend this type of yarn, or what have people made with this type of yarn. So I found a pattern called Empire State of Mind. Empire State of Mind, that's Alicia Keys' song. So I found a pattern called Empire State Cardigan by Knitatude. This is Chantal, and I decided it was cute. I love the color. I got the same colorway that is posted in her pictures that she's posting for the pattern, and I only got 3 of these, and the pattern for my size does ask for 8 of these, so I am gonna have to make another order. I saw that they're selling it on Joann's and they're having some coupons, so I'm trying to get a deal. But let me show you how the pattern is working up right now. So for this pattern, it does recommend a US 9 knitting needle, and so I cast on a gauge swatch for what was recommended in the pattern, and it was only reaching 3 inches or 3.5 inches where I need a 4-inch gauge. So I decided to size up and I went to a US 10, and it still was giving me like 3.7, like it wasn't a full 4. So both of these are blocked, dried, and they still weren't giving me a 4. And I don't have a US 11. I do have a US 10.5, but they're wood, and I just didn't think chain net with wood would be compatible. So I just did like a little stretch, and just a tiny stretch, and it does reach 4 inches. So I was between whether I should knit a size medium or a size large. Right now in my fashion journey, I am looking for things that are more oversized, a little more cozy, comfy, and I didn't want to wear anything knit fitted. A lot of the patterns that I've made within the last 2 years have been more fitted to my body, and for pictures and what I thought at the time, I thought it was cute, but in all practicality and my everyday wear and wearing it out and about, it's not the coziest, it's not the most comfortable for me. So I do want to venture in exploring larger sizes, but I don't want it to be too baggy or too oversized. So I'm kind of in that weird trying to pick a size that's gonna work for my body. So I was stuck between a size medium and a size large, but this pattern does have 5 to 7 inches of positive ease already invested in the pattern. So I took my measuring tape to see what the finished garment would be, and I thought the large would be too oversized from what I'm looking for. So I went to the medium size, which will still have about 5 inches of positive ease, and maybe a little bit less because I am like tiny bit of inches away from 4 inches or centimeters away from for the 4-inch gauge mark. So we'll see, we'll try it out, we'll see what it works. I'm kind of not experimenting, but stepping out of my comfort zone. I didn't realize that this was a bottom-up sweater, so it's really fun. I think bottom-up cardigans are less intimidating than yokes. I was recently watching a YouTuber, I can't remember who or what the name was, but they were seeing how they live for the yoke construction, and the yoke stresses me out. So I love the ease of starting with a bottom up. I'm just knitting and purling. There is some pattern details in the front of this, and it is a paid, is it a paid pattern? It is a paid pattern. It's $10.50 Canadian dollars and $8.15 US dollars. And I thought the finished garment was pretty. You also have the option to include a button band or not, and so I've decided to not include a button band because I kind of wanted to just be something I throw on. I don't really close my cardigans. Even like the store-bought ones, I never close my cardigans. So that's a feature that I don't want because I haven't knit anything in a really long time. Well, I knit a garment. I haven't knit a garment in a really long time, and I just want to ease my way in because I feel like with crochet it's more forgiving, I'm more relaxed, I'm less of a perfectionist and less critical. But with knitting, I'm like very like, it has to be right, it has to be perfect, like it can't look like that, why does it look like that? And there's some patterns that I've knit finished and there was something wrong or something I didn't like about it, and I just said, oh, I'll get over it. I'm not over it, I still think about it. So this is how it's going. It's working up, I would say not fast, not slow, but since I'm doing a lot of knits and purls, that's the part that takes a while. So right now I'm in a repeat. I'm just doing a whole bunch of the same two row repeat for about 20 stitches, and this is how it's coming out. I love the color, I love the feel, I love how the alpaca makes it feel more luxurious, mixed with, I think polyamide is acrylic, a little bit of wool, a little bit of acrylic, but the alpaca majority of this type of yarn really makes it feel fun and beautiful to work with. So let me know what you think about the Empire State cardigan. I've been watching more knitting and crochet podcasts, and a lot of people, I think in early January, are going through their stash, not their stash, yeah, I would say their stash and their works in progress or things that have been abandoned. And when I watch these episodes, like, I just think about all the dollar signs and all of the money that we invest in yarn and projects that we never kind of benefit from the fruits of our labor if they kind of just stay abandoned. So that's kind of the driving force to only use what I have, only invest in yarn that I want to actually see the project finish through. And even if that means slower projects, it does equal like more intentional projects. So that's something that I'm striving for to create in my life and in my wardrobe this year. And probably more gift knits and crochet. I always love to give things to other people, but just having that balance between gifting for myself and gifting for someone else. Other than that, I'm so excited for Valentine's Day. This is one of my favorite holidays. I love eating chocolate. Right now, white chocolate is my weakness. Also like the Hershey Kisses. We're having so many Valentine's events at work, and the candy is taking everything out of me to not eat all of the sour gummy worms. I tried a ring pop, you know, those old school back in the day when you're a kid, ring pop candy. It tasted so bad. It tasted like chemicals. So it's interesting how your taste change, but also how like some candy just doesn't taste the same way as you remember as a kid. But let me know down below, what is your favorite Valentine's Day candy? What is something that you are craving this Valentine's season? I can't wait to watch Love is Blind. I know the show is controversial. I know that they have lawsuits, but people are actively signing up knowing these things, and I'm gonna watch. I'm guilty. I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna see what this episode is about. It does take place in North Carolina, and I watched some of the YouTubers who do like the profiles of the people, so I think it's gonna be a really interesting show, a really interesting matchup. I hope that there's not drama, because I don't like when there's drama between like the girls or the girls and the guys. I don't really like that. I like the love part, when they fall in love, and it's like, is love really blind? And some of the contestants from the previous Love is Blind episodes are now starting to have children and building their little families. Like, ugh, so precious, so cute. And I would pose the question to you all: do you think love is blind? I do not think love is blind. I think that you can have like an attraction to someone, but you have to build that love and that friendship and all of those things over time. I don't think like you see someone is like, oh, I'm in love. So I'll pose that question to you if you think love is truly blind. But that's all that I have for this week. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope that you and your family are happy, healthy, and safe, and hope to talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.